manifested some applause. So we're talking tonight about manifesting through the law of attraction, and you've already heard a couple of wonderful speakers with some wonderful thoughts and some wonderful stories. So we use the law of attraction most of the time to attract things from without, to bring things to us. But I want to talk to you about manifesting what's inside of you. Now, before I get started, I want you to engage the critical thinking part of your brain. Do you remember that part? Don't believe what I am saying because I am standing here on this stage in a position of authority. Listen to me now and believe me later. I want you to think about what I'm saying. I want you to think if it makes sense to you, and if it does, then you can use it. If it doesn't, just tuck it away. It may become useful to you someday. Listen to me now and believe me later, okay? Audience participation. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, this is a little baby lesson in metaphysics. There are physical laws and there are spiritual laws, right? Physical laws are pretty easy to understand. How many of you, when you were a kid, thought if you just flapped your arms hard enough, you could fly? And how many of you jumped off of something to try and prove that theory? Several of you, I would imagine. And what did you learn? You learned about the law of gravity. Spiritual laws are slipperier. Do you know the poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson about the queen mother of all spiritual laws, the law of karma? It's called Brahma, and the first stanza goes like this. If the red slayer thinks he slays, or if the slain think he is slain, they know not well the subtle ways I keep and pass and turn again. Spiritual laws are subtle. They keep and pass and turn again. Now, we use physical and spiritual laws unconsciously all the time, right? Frankly, once you have learned about the law of gravity, you're like good with it, right? You know how it works. No further explanation needed. But like I said, spiritual laws are more subtle. You have to use them consciously. That's the trick that brings the rabbit out of the hat, is to use them consciously. Metaphysicians think all the time. And I hope all of you consider yourself metaphysicians because you wouldn't be here if you weren't. The law of attraction, right? Metaphysicians think all the time about what they say and think and do and how it affects those around them. Metaphysicians are exhausted. I'm 25 years old. So, as we start to use the law of attraction consciously, we begin to bring into our lives those things we want, right? A new car, a new house, a new relationship, whatever. But the first rule is that you have to be very clear about what you want. The universe can only bring you what you want once you have decided what you want. And the universe can't recognize a negative. If you say, I don't want, all the universe hears is, I want. That energy comes for good or for harmful. The universe doesn't discriminate. Roses and poison ivy get the same energy to grow, right? So you have to be very clear on your intent. And with that intent, you attract those things to you, that new car, that new relationship, a new job. All of those things are valid and very important. And you can use the law of attraction to attract what's inside you, to become the person that you want to be, peaceful, happy, self-confident, and being able to live your life from a place of truth and authenticness. Sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds really good. Inside everyone is that spark of the divine, right? The ancient Egyptians called it Ka. James Hillman calls it the acorn that holds the imprint of a mighty oak. Joseph Campbell called it the jewel point. You can call it Phyllis. It doesn't matter. Semantics, right? The important thing is to recognize that it's there and to acknowledge it. So we all have this little spark, but what happens is that our little spark gets covered over with schmutz. Now, in case you don't know what schmutz is, oh, this happened the last time. There we go. There it is. Let's read this definition together. An unpleasant, unidentified substance, something that soils an otherwise clean object. Those were some good ribs. Hey, Tony, you've got some schmutz on your face. Okay, so you understand what schmutz is, right? So our little light gets covered with schmutz. And that schmutz is shame and pain and fear, and sometimes it's your own stupid thinking, right? Now, there are some issues that dim our light that are serious. Issues of abuse and of trauma, and those need to be dealt with respectfully and gently and compassionately. But a lot of times, our schmutz is self-imposed, right? Our sense of self-worth gets covered up by opinions of other people, of society, of family, of friends, of ex-friends, ex-boyfriends, our own stupid thinking. Those are the things that are self-imposed that dim our light. So now we come to the second step. We have to dig out of the schmutz. We have to stop covering ourselves in schmutz, and we have to stop making other people walk through our schmutz to find us. So how do we do that? We have to take the hardest journey ever, the journey within. You have to be brave enough to be fierce with yourself, to go within and look what's there. You have to examine why you do what you do, why you think what you think, all of those kinds of things. You will find some wonderful things in there, and you need to own them. And you will find your schmutz, and you have to own that too. Once upon a time, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Anybody been there? Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know who I was. I felt like I had to be this for these people and this for those people and this, blah, 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 blah. I didn't know where my little light was because I couldn't find it. So I started that difficult inner journey, that difficult, hard, brave journey. I went on that journey bawling and squalling and kicking and screaming and wee all the way home. But as I did it, I attracted the people and the situations to me that helped me find my light, that helped me raise my consciousness. And I came to a point in my life where I was pretty sure I was only one step away from Buddhahood. That's how enlightened I was. And then you know what the universe does? The universe always goes, "Oh, darling, how charming of you. Let's just see." So, my ex-husband and I had been divorced for many years when our daughter got married. And we went to the wedding rehearsal, and he said something to, now remember, I think I'm the next Dalai Lama. he said something to me that sent me through the roof, off the cliff, every which way but loose. I was so incensed and appalled and angry at what he had said to me. I just couldn't stand it. I scared my good husband, you know? And so I fumed through the wedding rehearsal, and I fumed through the rehearsal dinner, and I got on the phone to my sister, and I said, "You will not believe what he said to me." And she's like, "What?" He said, "Hi, how are you?" So there was this silence on the other end of the phone. And my good Capricorn practical sister said, "Unresolved issues there?" Schmutz. There's always schmutz. But as you dig through it and you pull weeds and you dig things up and you haul out tons of manure, your little light starts to shine. And it starts to attract to you those people and situations that you need to raise your awareness and to raise your consciousness. Joseph Campbell said, "Once a soul insists on its calling, doors will open. And when those doors open and those boundaries are removed, you remember who you are. You remember that you're valuable. And then you start to believe it. Not just play lip service to it. You believe that you are worthy and you deserve good things. You're able to draw boundaries. You're able to say no without beating yourself up. You stop being your own worst enemy. Remember all those years ago when Marianne Williamson told us that it's not our darkness we fear, but our light? She told us we are powerful beyond measure. And it's so true. As you attract your little light up through the schmutz and to the surface, you begin to manifest your real self, who can speak the truth and live authentically. The law of attraction is like an iceberg. There's some of it on the top and a whole bunch on the bottom. And you can use it to attract stuff into your life. I love my stuff. I have lots of stuff. And you can use it to grow your acorn into a mighty oak. You can shine your jewel point, and you can introduce the world to Phyllis. What will you do with your wild, precious life? You can use it to live authentically and deeply and bravely. It's your chance to believe in you. It's your chance to attract and manifest whatever it is that you think is important in your life. It's your chance, as Rumi told us, to set your life on fire. Thank you.